Hi, everybody. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm looking forward to guiding you through today's lower back and lower body focused Yin Yoga class. We're going to get started on the floor in just about 3 minutes, I believe, uh, in the seated, comfortable position of your choice. Bring as many props as feels appropriate for your body today. So, recommending perhaps a folded over towel, especially if your hips are really tight, taking a lift of just about 1 inch even can help to create a little bit more openness on the back side of the legs and body. Otherwise, you might want to sit on a pillow. I have blocks nearby just in case. I have a strap. Do I think I'm going to use all of this? Probably not, but it's easy to just gather some things ahead of time so that if you do decide you need something, it's right there. You don't have to get up and move around because the whole goal of this class really is about stillness, breath, and relaxation. So move around as much as you need to or start to come into your stillness now. 2 more minutes till we get started. I'm just going to check on all things technical and streaming up here and then meet you down on the floor. I do encourage you to have water nearby. While there will not be any water breaks during today's class, if you do need water, please honor your body and take a sip. I'm gonna grab a sweatshirt because I also think it's nice to be a little bit warm while you're doing yin. Sometimes being in a warm space can help create a little bit more flexibility. One of the many reasons people tend to like hot yoga. And also that way I can do my least favorite thing, tucking my shirt into my pants um, without looking quite as uncool. I'm tucking my shirt into my pants. I'm really going to look online to see if there's a shirt about tucking my shirt in my pants that I can buy. All right, let's begin, shall we? So starting off, just 2 minutes to begin. So let's dive right into it in the seated, comfortable position of your choice. I know, yes, my hips feel a little bit tight. I recognize they might be a little bit more open than the normal desk person. It feels good for me to have my heels really close to the center line of the body. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can always bring your feet a little bit further out. Remember, if your knees are coming all the way up towards your chest and shoulders, that taking that slight lift, even just 1 inch, can make a big difference. And start to relax first into your breath and then into noticing your body. So, as you first sat down, I bet you felt kind of comfortable. But as you really take a moment to scan from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, maybe you notice that you're squeezing or just creating tension in your upper body, in your low back, or maybe in your glutes. Maybe you're just creating fists or squeezing through your toes. So check in with yourself in those spots where you tend to hold your tension. Use your inhale to be aware of any stretches or sensations that might not be serving you. And use your exhale to let go of any expectations and negative thoughts. So the big focus of today's class is going to be those lower body stretches. Feel free to use those props that you gathered to help you relax your upper body as much as you can. In fact, I'm going to bring a block as we start to move into a gentle forward fold. If your lower back is not feeling great today, having your hands on the block keeping your chest lifted, some length in the spine as you ground through the sit bones might be as deep of a forward fold as feels good for you. If you're feeling good, maybe you take an extra little hinge. Just make sure those sit bones are down on the floor. And one of my favorite parts of Yin Yoga is plenty of opportunities to gently tuck that chin towards your chest to really release a little bit more through the neck, the upper back. And that helps for me to feel the stretch more throughout the entire back. But it doesn't matter what I'm doing, and it doesn't matter what anyone else in the room with you might be doing. You need to find the stretches that work and feel right for you. Another one of my favorite things during Yin Yoga is to just close your eyes. If your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. And remember, we're working to create that total stillness besides when we're moving through postures. So let's take a little bit of movement here. Walk your hands oopsies, all the way over to one side, as much as feels good for you. Whichever hand you walked your hands to, ground through the opposite sit bone on the floor to create a big stretch throughout the side body. All right, we were talking about closing our eyes. Another big benefit of closing your eyes in class is that you do take away the expectation of trying to make your shape, your asana or posture look like someone else's, because it really doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You're doing what feels good and right for your body. Every day is different. Everyone's bodies are different. So just enjoy whatever stretches and sensations you're able to create for your body right here, right now, today. Let's take a gentle little intentional walk of our hands all the way towards the opposite side. Ground through the sit bone that your fingers are not pointing towards. Feel free to once again take that tuck of your chin towards your chest. Find the stretch that feels good for you. Simply breathe. Take your time, walk yourself back through center. Walk your hands in closer to your center line and lift yourself up. Extend your legs out in front of you. Find as much length in your legs as possible. I'm just going to turn sideways. I think you can see what's happening pretty well. If I'm actually on my mat, let's try that for today. So next up we have staff pose. So just extending those legs, bring those hands close by your hips. You can use them to find some length through your spine, a little length through the crown of your head. Just hanging out here in staff pose. Oh, Jessica, I already mixed up the postures a little bit. That's okay. We can still spend 1 minute right here in staff pose before we come into another gentle little hip opener. So next up is going to be butterfly. So go ahead, bring the soles of your feet together. You can either have things really close, or if you want to stretch a little bit more through like the IT bands and the low back, sending your toes further towards the end of the mat can help. In fact, if your hips are really tight, maybe having your feet a little bit further away can help it seem more accessible to bring the outside of the knees to the floor. Otherwise, use a block. Whether you're in close or far away, using a block can just help you to feel a little bit more relaxed. So there's no pressure mentally of bringing the outside of the knees to the all the way to the ground. You're still opening your hips simply by having your soles of your feet together and knees nice and wide. And let's be kind to ourselves. You can give yourself a gentle little foot massage Oy, words are hard today. A nice gentle little foot massage, sort of just massaging through the soles of my feet. We've got 2 more minutes right here. And I know I just preached how Yin Yoga is all about stillness, and then I was like, hey, let's give ourselves a massage. But life is a little yin yang, isn't it? And it's nice to do things that feel good for ourselves. And the whole point of this class is to help relax and relieve stress. And personally, I know it's Friday. My feet are tired. This feels good. But I'll meet myself halfway. If you want, you can continue with that massage for another minute, or you can focus just on being in butterfly, the most beautiful butterfly you can be. Because no matter what you look like, you are amazing. I mean, what your posture looks like, but also whatever looks are a bunch of hoo-ha. It's all about who you are inside and how you feel about yourself. And something like a yoga practice is such a great way to increase not just your flexibility, but that body positivity. You're taking the time to fill your mental, physical, emotional cup, and then it just makes it so you can share all of your amazing self more easily with those whom you choose to. All right. If you took any sort of a forward fold, go ahead, walk yourself in, extend both legs out, take a moment, just bob or windshield wipe those legs. We're going to come into a little half lotus. So with one leg extended forward, I'm keeping my left leg forward. I'm folding the right leg in, and my goal is to get the sole of the right foot as close to the hip crease as possible. Maybe you're all the way there, or maybe you're just crossing your ankle on top of your thigh, or maybe you are just bringing the sole of your foot towards your inner thigh. I want you to find something that works for you. If you do have that foot lifted, go ahead and take your left hand and just hold your right hand's toes, little zipper toes. So again, just a nice teeny little stimulation through the feet. You can even add in a little bit of a massage once again, or you can just take that stillness. If your lower back is really smarting, being lifted that 1 inch on the towel is going to help right here. Or if your lower back's feeling great and you're not feeling any sort of a stretch, you can take a gentle little forward hinge as well. One thing I really like about this half lotus is the pressure that the outside of my foot is applying to the top of the thigh is giving a nice relaxation into my very tired quads. You've got a minute and a half left here. Start to scan the body from head to toe. Relax your temple, your jaw, your neck. Release through those shoulders. Do your best to stay present. My favorite way is to just take the time to count the length of my breath, whatever it takes for you to be here right now. If you're just listening to some awesome music in the background, maybe you're listening to the furthest away sound that you can hear in your space, or maybe you're counting your breath. Next up is a gentle spine twist. If you took a forward hinge, use your inhale. Lift yourself up and then unzipper those toes. Cross your right leg over the left. If your right glute completely came up off the floor, it's an opportunity to, I'm going to take my strap and I'm going to place a folded over strap underneath of that glute just to give me a little bit more oomph. Oh, that feels great. And then right hand comes behind you. Press into your right hand. Find some lifted length. Make sure your spine is as long as it can be. And then any sort of spine twist that works for you. As deep as feels appropriate. Oh, no, everyone. I just spied a dead bee on the floor. If only I'd had my eyes closed. It's going to turn my head away from it because it's upsetting me. And we've got 1 minute left here in this spine twist. Don't be scared if you're feeling any sort of shaking, trembling, or quivering throughout your body. That is just the new connections that you are making deep within the fascia, ligaments, tissue, even bones. If you don't feel any sort of shaking or trembling, that's okay too. All right, use your inhale, find that length again. Exhale, turn forward. We're going to take this top right leg and we're going to come into a bit of a runner stretch, or if you're familiar with fixed firm, kind of like a half fixed firm. So folding that right foot in, bringing the right heel a little closer to the glute, and doing your best to bring your two thighs close together. If that's too much for you, you can always kind of come into a little bit more of a 90-90 position. That actually feels really good. And maybe you even bring your hands gently behind you, or you can stay with a little bit of a forward lean, which I think makes this one feel a little bit easier. You even have the option to lean or lay all the way down on your back. I don't want to do that today. So I'm just going to lean back a little bit. I'm going to lift through the chest because that's what feels good. You got 2 minutes left right here. So just work to create that stillness. Remember, you didn't come into a stretch that's so deep that your breath is limited. And if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. So consider closing your eyes and just enjoying whatever your body is doing right now. One minute left. Do your best to stay still here. Scan your body from head to toe. Relax in the stretch as much as you can. Can you relax your upper body? And without trying to go any deeper into the posture, can that just release your lower body a little more into the mat as well? All right, we're going to change this stretch just a little bit. So if you leaned back, you can lift yourself up. take your extended front leg and make two 90-degree angles. So I had my back foot in pretty close a moment ago. I'm actually going to bring it out a little bit more, really working to get the inner sole towards the floor and then using that exhale to work to release that back glute towards the floor. If you want, you can even take a nice little twist here one more time, or one hand on each knee. And if this glute is nowhere near the floor, think about putting your strap or a rolled up ball of socks, like whatever you've got to help to create a little bit more lift of the floor to help meet your body wherever it is today. Hopefully, after that nice little runner's stretch, you're already feeling a little bit more open, so it's possible for you to come into these two 90-degree angles and get the outer edge of your front foot on the floor and the inner edge of your back foot on the floor. I know that it's challenging, so just do your best. 1 minute left. Great work. Take your time, bring your hands to the floor. We're going to come into tabletop. So hands palms underneath of your chest. Walk those two knees side by side. Give yourself a couple cat cows here. Take 1 minute to just find the stretch that you know or that you will discover that your body needs, from just shaking your hips a little bit right and left. Can you feel a difference right now through the right side of your body and the left, now that we've taken a little bit of time to stretch one side out versus the other? I know I definitely feel a different sensation, especially through that right hip complex versus what's happening on the left. So let's go ahead and get that left side in play. So take your time, come back onto your glutes. We're going to start once again with that butterfly. No expectations, no judgment. Maybe it's easier or comfortable to be a little bit deeper into the stretch than you were last time. Maybe you're doing the exact same thing. Find what feels good for you right now, because we've got a total of 3 minutes in this butterfly. If you want to give yourself that massage of your feet or a massage of your ankles, go for it. And remember, you can use the blocks if you need to, if you feel like your knees are limiting you, if you can't relax because there's nothing um, actually on the floor. Perhaps the second time around, you focus a little bit more on the stillness. And if that's the case, really tune into the total body scan, top of the head. Start inch by inch, relaxing your scalp and your shoulders. Relaxing the ribs on the front and back side. In almost every yoga class, it's all about keeping that core engaged and having the center line of your body drawn as tight as possible. And one of the biggest surprises of Yin was that they were like, nah, whatever. You can just allow yourself to be yourself, which is such a beautiful thing. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. We're just being our most authentic versions of ourselves right now. And another nice thing is like actually using the props is a gentle way to kind of like ask for help. Like you're asking yourself for help and you're providing it. I know personally I'm not the best at asking for help in general, but this class can be the way that, in other parts of your life, you're like, hey, I really do see how great having a support system is and can be, and it's okay to lean on the support system as much as possible. If you found a forward fold, take your time, lift yourself up. We're going to extend our legs all the way out. Take a moment, you can bob or windshield wipe your knees. This time, instead of going for a staff pose, we're going to take a forward hinge from the hips, not the waist. So, no pressure on that low back. Hinge from the hips, bringing belly closer towards thighs. If that's hard, you can always place a prop at your lower belly. And if it's easy, maybe you place your head on your block. So keep that chest coming forward. Find what feels right for you. And honestly, if it feels right for you to find some rounding from the back, if that doesn't feel uncomfortable for you, if you're getting a good stretch somewhere else, I'm not going to limit. I'm not going to yuck your yum. I just want you to be mindful. You're amazing. Carefully lift yourself up. We're going to continue to stretch through the back of the right leg as we've got our half lotus on the other side. So work to find that deep cross. Ideally, one day in the future, bringing the sole of the foot all the way up into your hip crease. How's it feel on this side? I'm going to admit it feels tighter for me. I'm going to come into those zipper toes. So interlacing your fingers with each of your toes. Here, I'll even turn this way in case you want to see. But you should close your eyes. Just kidding. Interlacing your fingers is a great way to help keep your foot here and also provide that extra little bit of stimulation. Maybe you're staying really lifted. Maybe your other hand is even on the floor. Maybe you placed a block under your leg so you can relax in the stretch. I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep that block right there because it feels great. And remember, we're just doing our best. Doing our best. Getting that great self-myofascial release right now of the outside of the left foot, pressing into the right quad. As promised, we're stimulating that lower body today. And this gentle little forward hinge is also giving me some nice stretch at the top of the hip crease. We've got a little more than 1 minute left. So I'm trying to bring a little more focus to the stillness and silence of class in the second half. And I do just want to apologize if my breathing sounds extra loud during this sinus and allergy. season. I like to think that the slow inhale, exhale sounds a lot like the roll of the ocean. So hopefully you're just enjoying this delightful ocean sound with me. Next up, we have our spine twist. So gently release the grip you might have on your feet. Ooh. Cross your left leg over the right. Find that length in your spine first. So really ground through the sit bones. You don't have to make a deep spine twist. Just find the twist that works for you. We've got 2 minutes right here. Awesome. Take your time, gently untwist. Coming into that runner stretch. So right leg stays extended. Fold that left leg in and experiment with how close can you get the left knee to the right. You can keep this forward hinge, work to get that left glute towards the floor. Gonna bring my hands behind me and gently pressing the, I guess like the top of the shin, the inner knee towards the floor is really increasing this stretch into the quad. Remember, if you want, you can lean back even more. You can use any props you want to. If this is too intense, bringing your knee further away from the left leg is one option to make it easier. Also, experiment with not having your heel as close to the center line of your body. So, find what works for you. You've got 2 minutes left to simply enjoy. Imagine every exhale bringing that left glute a little bit more in contact with the mat. right, it's time to fold that right leg in. Sole of the right foot coming closer towards the top of the left thigh. Change that position just a little bit. I'm going to turn my left foot out so that both feet are creating a bit of a 90-degree angle with the top of the foot and the top of the shin. Ooh. We got 2 more minutes here in deer pose, still working to bring that left glute towards the floor. Hands on each knee feels good right now. For 1 minute left, and then we'll take a nice big stretch of the low back and the shoulders. Because I know there's been a lot of opportunities to have your hands on the floor, supporting yourself in the stretch, and that you can really feel that in the upper body. Also, just sitting on the floor can be such a challenge. So props to you. Props to you and props to the props that helped us relax and release on the floor today. Carefully start to make your way into tabletop again, bringing both hands on the floor, then rolling onto the shins. Carefully, with intention, bringing those knees together. Give yourself a cat and cow or two in each direction, and then you can open your knees as wide as you want to or keep them narrow. It's your choice, but we're going to send the glutes back towards the heels for child's pose. And you can keep your arms nice and straight in front of you, or you can take a generous bend. Find what feels right for your body today. I'm going to fold my hands all the way in to make a nice little pillow with them. As I'm going to focus on taking a little separation of those shoulder blades right here. They've been squeezing together a little bit, keeping my body lifted. So just giving them some love in the opposite direction. And in just about 1 minute, we'll turn this child's pose into a nice thread the needle uh, chest, back, shoulder stretch. Keep sinking your glutes back towards your heels as much as feels right for you. Extend one arm forward. And we're going to thread the opposite hand underneath. So the extended arm has the palm facing the floor, and the arm that you threaded underneath has the palm facing the ceiling. I'm still going to take a generous bend of my front arm's elbow to relax a little bit in the shoulder. And that's also going to help upper body to sink a little bit more towards the floor, enhancing the stretch throughout the right side shoulder complex. Ooh, feeling it big time, stretching all the way back towards the left side of the hip as those glutes sink back. Enjoy one more breath here at your slowest pace possible. And then after you finish, gently switch towards the opposite side. So carefully unthreading the needle, extending that arm forward, other arm threads below. The arm that threaded, palm faces up towards the ceiling. And you can keep both arms extended, or maybe you bring one arm in. It's just your choice. One is not better than the other. Oh, hi, Uncle Buck. You scared me. Don't worry, Uncle Buck. I promise I'm alive. I'm just staying still for Yin Yoga. All right, last 2 breaths in this. Thread the needle. And when you are ready to come out, carefully make your way back into a nice little tabletop. And give yourself another round of cat-cows. After you've done a few in each direction, we're going to make our way onto our backs. If you can believe it, it's already time to come into final savasana. So go ahead, extend those legs as far out in front of you. As feels good. Relax and release onto the floor. If you're still feeling any discomfort in your low back, think about maybe placing your towel block pillow underneath of your knees for a slight little bend of the knees, and that can help you take a nice little anterior tilt of the pelvis. The lower back is on the floor, but if you're feeling relaxed, that's good. And if you don't have any props nearby, you can always actually just tense those legs and just join Uncle Buck and I as we hang out in this final savasana. We're going to hang out 4 minutes together and then use that last minute. Oh, okay, bye. To close out class. But you're welcome to stay here as long as feels right for you. Once more, scan your body head to toe, toe to head, melt into your mat. Staying present down here towards the end. Tune back into the inhale. Notice how you're feeling. Exhale, let it go. Once again, you're welcome to stay here in this final Savasana for as long as your body needs. If you're satisfied with these past 4 minutes, take your time, make your way into a comfortable seated position, and we can close out our practice together. Once you have made your way to your comfortable seated position, use your inhale, bring your arms up and overhead, palms come together, exhale, hands come down to heart center, thumbs touching on your chest and sternum. Take a moment, tuck your chin to your chest. Think at least one positive thought about yourself. What brought you to class today? Are you feeling good about showing up for yourself and your physical and mental health? I hope so. Showing up is the hardest part. So whether you came into that amazing stillness or fidgeted throughout the entire class, it does not matter. Even if you laid in Savasana for the full 45 minutes, that's some yoga. All right. If you have any questions or concerns about anything I said or we did, you'll reach out. Till we are together again, think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds, take the time, nourish yourself from the inside out. If it feels right for you, you can bring your thumb to your third eye, your drishti, lift your eyes, nose, chin, heart up towards the ceiling. And know that the light within me honors, sees, and is so thankful for the light within you. Thank you so much for coming today. Namaste.